Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Kent City Council meeting for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. If you could all please rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Melissa, could you call the roll, please?
Mayor Ralph.
Here.
Council President Corr.
Here.
Councilmember Boyce.
Here.
Oh,
He's not here.
fell for it. Councilmember Boyd.
Okay, here.
Councilmember Fincher.
Here.
Councilmember Larmer.
Here.
Councilmember Michaud.
Here.
And Councilmember Troutner.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is agenda approval. Are there any changes to the agenda? No changes. All right. Hearing no changes, is there a motion?
So move. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda stands as published. We're going to move right into public communications. We have a fair amount of celebration this evening. Also got a packed house, so I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. A couple of shout outs before we start. We have a group of student leaders from Grass Lake Elementary, so thank you so much for being here. Yeah. And I see a group of scouts in the back of the room, so I want to say thank you for being here as well. All right, the first item under public recognition this evening is recognition of Council Member Fincher. So many of you joined us for the reception earlier. Council Member Fincher, after many years of service, is retiring. So this is her last council meeting. I'm going to start out by, we've got a certificate of recognition here. I'm going to go ahead and read that says it's presented to Brenda Fincher in appreciation of 12 years of exceptional dedication, leadership, and commitment and service. Your advocacy, commitment, and steadfast support for the Kent community embody the very spirit of compassion and service. Through your work on the Kent City Council and countless community organizations, you have enriched our city, uplifted our families, and inspired others to serve. With deep gratitude, we honor your unwavering commitment to making Kent a stronger, more vibrant, and more welcoming community for all. With that, I am going to turn it over to Council President Corr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We had our reception earlier tonight, and we saw how many of our community members showed up for Councilmember Fincher. She's been a leader, a steadfast leader, and always has something to offer, and she's cares a lot about our community. She cares about the equity, and she cares about the decisions we make and how they're going to impact every single resident in our community. So I appreciate always her exquisite nature of asking questions and always being so thoughtful and ready to have conversations and listening to both sides of the story when we're making decisions. So I appreciate her, and I think I do see my colleagues do have comments, I believe. So I am going to go ahead and get started if you have anything to offer.
Yeah, I'll just say, Brenda, it has been nothing but a pleasure to serve with you. You have been such a valuable friend and advisor and ally, and I look forward to the work that's going to continue because you promised me that you were not stepping away entirely. So it's just going to change forms, and I look forward to continuing working with you for the good of our community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think we had remarks earlier this evening, so I think back to you, Madam Mayor.
All right. Thank you. We know that Councilmember Fincher is just going to be changing sides of the dais, so never fear.
She'll be here for a public comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's agreeing.
Where's Perry?
All right. right, we are going to move on. The next item is Employee of the Month. Each month here at the City of Kent, employees get together and nominate one of their coworkers who really embodies the mission, vision, values, and goals of the City of Kent. And this month is absolutely no exception to that. I am very, very pleased to announce that our December 2025 Employee of the Month is Haley Elliott. Haley. Haley began working for the City of Kent on April 1st, 2019. Haley, when I read that before, I thought, wow, that time has flown. Right? That does not mean anybody's getting older, just for the record. Haley started working as the Parks Department Marketing and Engagement Coordinator. Under the direction of the Parks Director or assigned designee, Haley coordinates the execution of the creative marketing campaigns, including print, electronic, social media, television, internet, advertising, and collateral for the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. You all have seen her work in all of our social media platforms, amazing photos and storytelling. Her primary responsibility is for a collaborative development, design, and production of a comprehensive and coordinated promotional campaigns, reaching Kent's diverse audience and implementing the department's marketing strategies. Haley was nominated because she is a joy to be around. If you are having a bad day or even an okay day or just need to be motivated, go see Haley. She has a level of positive energy that you can't help being a part of. Haley's work directly supports the city's core values of innovation, teamwork, communication, and excellence. Through Haley's creative strategies and tireless energy, she has transformed how we market park services to our community, making parks a household name in Kent and beyond. She leads with contagious positivity and collaboration and has invested time to learn every division of the department. She has built trust with staff who once managed their own marketing and were initially reluctant to give up those duties, but Haley stepped in and proved that there is a very important reason why she is in charge of all of those things. She's intentional in representing our community authentically so that people of every age, ability, and background can see themselves reflected in Kent Parks. Her innovations go well beyond traditional marketing. Haley launched Engage Kent Parks, our first online public input platform for Kent projects, giving residents a direct voice in shaping their community spaces. Haley is also a driving force behind Parks and Recreation Month each July. If you've been here for those council meetings, we have all kinds of decorations and props. It's the only department that we celebrate that comes in and has that level of fun. So it is real. She uplifts others, creates community, and represents the City of Kent with grace, enthusiasm, talent, and professionalism. Haley continuously embraces our values, and we celebrate her as December's Employee of the Month. Congratulations, Haley. Turn it over to Julie Paris-Gondola, our Parks Director.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Paris-Gondola, Kent Parks Director, and thanks for coming to celebrate Haley. This is awesome. So, just kidding. Good evening, Mayor and Council members. It's really kind of hard to follow that statement. Lots of great stuff in there, and it just goes to show really how truly awesome Haley is. I'm really grateful. Thanks for bearing with me. It's only 3 minutes. I just want us to talk a little bit more about what Haley means to Kent Parks and why her work has such an enormous impact behind the scenes. Obviously, Mayor Ralph covered her role and responsibilities, so I want to share really what operationally that means for the department, because she was here 6 years ago and she created a position from scratch. There was no person that did marketing, so that was a whole kind of build for both of us to do. And marketing in parks, it's not a side task, it's not an add-on. It's really essential for how we reach our community, how we fill our programs, how we sustain our earned revenue, and how we really build trust and visibility for the people that we work for every single day in our community. And Haley really is the center at all of that. She supports 6 forward-facing divisions in the Parks Department, each with their own programs, priorities, and timelines. So she's not just creating campaigns, she's literally juggling the needs of a dozen staff members, hundreds of individual programs, a constant flow of events, projects, opening updates, and she really does make it look effortlessly, and it's an incredible volume of work that she manages on an annual basis. One of the things I really value most about Haley is her ability to take we are a very complex department that has a lot going on every day, and what she does is she pulls it all together and she tells our story in meaningful ways about how we contribute to our community. And she pays attention to representation, as Mayor Ralph said. She asks who's missing. She ensures people see themselves in our materials, whether that's a child in a coloring book, a family in a guide, or just a resident giving input in a new park. Her level of intentionality is rare and very deeply appreciated by the Parks Department. Her leadership shows up in a ton of different ways. Her, along with a vast, enormous group in recreation, puts out a recreation guide that reaches at 85,000 residents. And it's, what are they, 50 pages each? It's probably our most complex marketing piece. We do it 3 times a year. She's the reason that she can help our planning team reach our community to give feedback on our park projects. She's the force behind all of our campaigns and drives participation, pride, and trust. And chances are, honestly, in the community, and I know all of you on the dais, if you've attended a program, a grand opening, an event at Park and Rec Month, you definitely have seen Haley. And she's not just technically skilled. She really is the kind of person you want to work with. She lifts others up. She brings energy into every space that she walks into. She makes collaboration feel effortlessly. And she represents Kent Parks, the city of Kent, with authenticity, professionalism, and heart. And her work truly elevates Kent Parks' brand, the city's brand, and deepens community connection and supports every division in delivering high-quality service that our residents expect and deserve. I'm incredibly proud of her. We are incredibly proud of her, and she is absolutely deserving of this award. So congratulations, Haley. You want to say a few words?
Hello, everyone. I'm Haley. Hi. I absolutely did not prepare anything at all to say, but I absolutely love my job here at the city. And for those of you that know me, I am a Kenton local through and through. I was a Kent School District kid all the way from K through 12. I was a Kent Parks kid all the way growing up through elementary school until I got more involved in sports as I got a little bit older. And so coming back here and being able to serve the community that raised me and that brought me so much joy as a kid it's truly just like, it's a heartwarming full circle moment for me, and I love every single second of my day. I love marketing, and I fell in love with it early on in my life, and I was so excited when I was able to do something outside of the private sector and moving into the public sector and actually getting to make a real difference in what I do every single day and being part of something that is so amazing. And the Kent family is just great, and that's exactly what we are here. We are a family, especially in the Parks Department. I work with the best people ever in parks and throughout the entire city. I am so blessed to have Julie as my boss and my direct supervisor. And everything that we do in parks just brings me so much joy. Being able to give back to people that need it, people who want to have fun, people who are looking to recreate, people who are looking to make memories together. It's really just a really wonderful. It's self-serving for me, but it's also just so serving for the entire community. And I'm so grateful that I get to do what I do every single day. Being in marketing, I never really thought that I would be able to do a position like this and be able to kind of do that really thoughtful, there's a reason behind every single thing that I do. And that's a really wonderful thing to be able to say and be able to go to bed every single night and know that what I'm doing is making a true difference in our community and for our residents, and being part of the small, actually I shouldn't say small, part of the big magic that Kent Parks creates for our community every single day, and getting to be a part of that and planning the events and bringing programs and classes and services to our community. It's a really beautiful thing. And I'm honored. I'm so honored to be Employee of the Month. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Haley, for everything you do. All right, Council, the next item on the agenda is an appointment to the Land Use and Planning Board. I'm bringing before you Bonnie Williams. I do not believe she is here tonight, but you have all met her. She has been involved in a variety of levels at the city. She attended the Land Use and Planning Board meeting last night in anticipation of this. Her appointment is on the consent calendar for your approval. All right. The next item we have is the Kent Turkey Challenge. So Jasmine from Torcliffe Central, hiding way in the back. We're so excited to get a report out on the Turkey Challenge this year.
Get my notes. Hi, everyone. So I'm Jasmine. I'm here with Zoe and Kendra from Torquelift. We're talking about the 13th annual Turkey Challenge. So every year we do a food drive for Thanksgiving. And so this year we hosted from October to about mid-November. And during the time, we challenge schools, communities of faith, and businesses to all come together to donate food and money that goes to Kent Food Bank, and it all benefits families in need during the holiday season. And so in total, for this year's Turkey Challenge, we collected $14,793 and 7,321 food items. So
I'm just, yeah.
So I just want to say thank you really quick for everybody's participation. It's really great job. I'm so happy with the turnout this year. And just thank you for everybody who participated. But I'm going to go ahead and recognize some of the top performers. So if you guys are in the audience to accept your award in person, please come up and grab a photo with us if you don't mind. So I'm going to start with the top performers for cash collected. So in fifth place with $820 was F3 Strongholds. Nope, they're not here. Okay, fourth place was with $1,020 was Shannon and Associates. No, not here. Okay, third place with $2,100 was Chateau Valley Center. Good job. Thank you so much. Okay, and then second place with $2,635 was Kent United Methodist Church. Thank you. Good job. Okay, and then in first place was with $7,937 was Torquelift. So thank you guys. Okay, and so next we're going to recognize the top performers for food items collected. So we have in fifth place with 595 items collected was Kent United Methodist Church. We don't have to take another picture. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, and then fourth place with 685 items was First Christian Church of Kent. And then third place with 1,043 items was Metropolitan Gymnastics. Second place with 1,351 items was Grass Lake Elementary. Okay, maybe we should go in the front. You all want to take a picture?
She's the student class president.
Good job, guys. All right,
Am I allowed to dismiss them because it's a school night?
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. And then in first place with 2,002 items collected was Kent CrossFit. Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you. Just kidding.
Thank you guys for doing this every year.
Of course. Okay, so just want to say thank you again for everybody that participated, and we're excited to do it again next year for the 14th time. Yeah, thank you guys.
On behalf of the Kent Food Bank, where I have volunteered for the last 18 years, thank the entire community. Thank you so very much. This means so much to people suffering from food insecurity in the city of Kent and environs right now. So thank you very much. You're going to make a Merry Christmas for all of us.
Thank you so much.
Definitely want to say thank you to Torcliffe Central for putting all of this together every year, for continuing to serve the community. We are very, very grateful, and to thank you to everybody that donated this year. Thank you. Yeah. All right, we are going to move on to community events. Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have events at Assessor Shower Center on December 12th. There's Seattle Thunderbirds versus Penticton Vs. I hope I said that right. December 13th was Tacoma Stars home opener game. Tickets are on sale at AssessorShowerCenter.com. And on January 2nd, 3rd, 9th, and 10th, Gut Check Wrestling tournaments are happening. And January 19th is King Showcase Basketball Tournament. And if you are interested in any of those events, or you want to get more information or just purchase the tickets, AssessorShowerCenter.com. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Mayor.
All right, Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Spotlight Series is still going on. We just had the Christmas concert, which, as usual, sold out. It was the Celtic Christmas. I think this was like the 37th, 39th one annually. And then you have the opportunity. There are 3 shows coming up in the next 2 months. So go to kentwa.gov. You can get your tickets and all right there. And then I would like a point of personal privilege. So as I sat outside, I had a few more things to say. So I just want to say some thank yous. We have our administrative department, and they're the ones who, when we call in and need something, they're the ones who get that done. There are also a lot of the communications that come out of there, the diversity, equity. Oh, Dana.
Hello, my name is Dana Ralph.
Sorry. my hand hit my computer there. But you see, it was city stuff. But
communications team at work.
Yes. So that's an example of what they do. The diversity, equity, and so we have Maria and Odiel up in that department. The CAO, who gets 10,000 questions from us. All of that is out of the administrative office. Not completely ours, but Puget Sound Fire. They do one of the most fun events of the year, the Teddy Bear Clinic, aside from making sure that if there's a car accident, if there's anyone in need, they're going to be able to get there and help render aid to them, along with putting out fires. Our finance and HR departments, who have won awards, if you can believe having an award because of the way you do the finances to make a budget so that it's easy to read. And a municipal budget is in no way like your household budget. Very different, and they do a great job. All of these departments answer a ton of questions for us and help us out in a number of different ways. HR, masking data. The new application that they came in, there was, just as a matter of equity, there were certain fields that we wanted masked and the things that they worked on. The IT department, which is like the lifeblood, they interact with each and every department that we have. You don't hear from them or see them in the paper, but they are woven through making sure that the radios are working in the police cars, or that the golf course, you're able to get your point of sale items done. Speaking of the golf course, Parks and Human Services and facilities, there's grants that they do to help the numerous organizations, nonprofit organizations within our city. You just heard about the different events, I would go to some of Haley's events, the parks events, so I could see what she was doing. Not that I was going to be swimming at the time, but I wanted to see what she had cooked up for there. And facilities department, you know, they take great care in both parks facilities and the regular city facilities. A lot of ours, as you can see with this building, a lot of our assets are past their normal age, you know, past the lifespan, and they keep them running. So we have a lot to thank them for, especially in saving some of the dollars that would go out. And during the pandemic, and even, you know, with our seniors, some of the activities that they put on are just unbelievable, how they didn't skip a beat. Public work, and I challenge anyone to tell me a top 10 city that does not have a fabulous parks department. Because parks not only contributes and, you know, gives kids a place to play. People think, well, I'm a senior, I don't have kids. Why should I care? Because of the value of your house, because of businesses that site there, because of health benefits. The trees are there, there have been tests. Trees help lower your blood pressure, and on and on and on as to why a vibrant parks department helps out a city. Public Works Department. I never gave Public Works a second thought. But as I mentioned tonight, there are going to be people who are out making sure that the street is not flooding, that the drains are uncovered. And you can do that. You can remove the leaves yourself in the departments. That are taking care and making sure our water system is safe, that are making sure potholes are filled, helping build traffic circles, making sure our street lights are working, making sure your water turns on and comes out your faucet, or your toilet flushes, something as simple as that. You just don't think about all they do. Emergency management, they're going to be on the job tonight and when there's snow. The police department and the courts. You know, our police department, I've always said that we have a good police department. They don't always get it right, but they try and they're willing to listen. You know, and they've listened and collected data that, you know, we wanted collected that wasn't being collected before. We now have our CLIP, the Community Immersion in Law Enforcement program that we didn't have before. We have our along with the fire department, where we can go if it's a call that doesn't need a police officer, there's no need for the police officer to be there. It may be a therapist who needs to be there or someone else, but we are partnering with a number of different ways with our police department, our courts, and the therapeutic programs that they do. And with that, our prosecutors and defense attorneys and every person in that court that helps it run. How many courts have a person whose sole job is to make sure that if you walk in, you need housing, you need food, whatever you need, they have someone who knows about the community resources. So not just people who are in trouble. Our courts want to help people get back on the right track if they need that, or to help them stay on the track if they're already there. They also have the DUI courts, the community courts, and the domestic violence moral recognition therapy program. Just tons of things that they do there to help our community. So that goes along with the law department and keeping us all in line. And I'm lucky I have somebody when I want to say something to make sure that I'm not going to get us in trouble legally, who I can just lean over and say something to. And just on and on and on. With our city, I hope that diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging always stays first. Look at our audience here. This is a very diverse city. We're one of the top, what are we, like number 5 or 7 in the country, diverse cities in the country. We have to make sure that our people know we care about them, that we put them first. And that's every person here, whether it's a business, whether it's a resident, whether it's somebody who's coming in to visit. We want more people here. This is a strong, vibrant city, and that's because of all of us, because of the nonprofit organizations, because of, the downtown partnership, the chamber, all of the different organizations that we have here. There's Dawn, we have Kingdom, I see in the audience, people who are feeding people, Kingdom Family, and we have our neighborhood programs. This is a strong, vibrant city. We have lobbyists who'll go to Washington, and both Washington and Olympia, to make sure that what we need here, we have voices that are saying that. But we don't know unless we hear it from you that something is needed. So consider volunteering, stepping forth. Committees, commissions need you. And thank you. Thank you. It's been a wonderful 12 years.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Fincher. All right. Any other community events?
Madam Mayor, there's also a Christmas Rush Fun Run, Walk 5K, and you can sign up on kentwa.gov, and that's a Kent Parks event.
And that's coming up
on this Saturday. Yep.
Registration opens at 8 a.m., I believe. So, all right. Moving on, the next item on our agenda is the Public Safety Report. Joining us tonight is Chief Padilla.
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. It's my pleasure to bring you the last Public Safety Report for 2025. And we've got a lot of good stuff in it, so we'll get started right away. We're going to start with a couple of swearing-ins of two of our newest officers. I'd like to call up Officers Gujap Gadri and Keith Jeffries, please come forward. Okay, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and introduce each of the new officers to the community and the council, give you a little information about themselves, and then we'll call Mayor Ralph up to do the swearing in. So we'll start with Officer Gadri, who's closest to me. He is from, originally born in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada, but his family moved to Kent, and he's been raised here in Kent since he was a baby. Education, he went to Kent Ridge High School in 2018 and then pursued his bachelor's degree in software development and graduated with a bachelor's last year with cum laude honors. Before Kent, he worked a few jobs, and he was a ramp agent at the airport, an ops coordinator at FedEx, an assistant manager at a hotel, and an office substitute in the Renton School District. So he's done a lot of jobs, consistently working. Reason for choosing Kent, and I'll read this. This is what he wrote. It says, as a resident of Kent and someone that grew up in Kent, there is no other police department that I would have wanted to work for more. This is the community I have grown attached to, and the one I want to serve in whatever way is needed. That's his purpose. I think that's pretty cool. His likes and interests, he enjoys being outside, being active, hanging out with his friends and family as much as possible. He enjoys working out and playing two-hand touch football, volleyball, and other sports. He also likes watching sports and playing video games occasionally. And then one of the things he does that I thought was pretty cool is he started teaching some of the younger folks within the Sikh community how to read Sikh scripture on weekends as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Gujap Gadri. Officer Gadri, you have friends and family you might want to introduce?
Yes, sir. I have my amazing parents, my father, Balbir Singh, my mother, Satwinder Kaur, and then my 7th grade algebra teacher from Meeker Middle School.
Outstanding. Thanks for being here. All right, next up, we have, let me switch gears here.
That's what I'm pretty sure, yeah.
We have Officer Keith Jeffries. He was born in Seattle, but raised also a Kent resident, raised his entire life here in Kent. He also went to Kent Ridge High School, where he met his fiancée, Deja, when he was 16 years old. Let's see. Before Kent, And instead of going to college, he decided to stay home and work full-time. He worked as in retail as an assistant manager for Foot Locker, and a little over 2, mostly in concrete work, but also did general contractor remodeling for different hotels. Here's what he wrote for why he wanted to work for Kent PD. He says, there are many reasons why I chose the Kent Police Department. I knew that when I was applying to departments, I wanted to work in a city that took pride in serving their community and had plenty of different opportunities to engage with their community. Looking through Kent's social media page, I could tell that Kent's #1 focus was just that. Also, Kent is where I grew up. It played such a big role in raising me and turning me into the man I am today, so I thought what better department and city to work for than the one that I call home. I understand this community because I am part of this community, and I understand how big and diverse the city is. I think that's a pretty good reason as well. So 2 Kent residents, lifelong Kent residents, and Kent Ridge grads. Sorry, Mayor. Okay. Something interesting about Keith is that he has been snowboarding since he was 9, and that's his favorite hobby. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Keith Jeffries. Officer Jeffries, family and friends?
Yeah, so in the back is my fiance Deja from here. Steve in front of her is my sister Kiki. Next to her is her son, my nephew Ronan. My grandfather Gary, my uncle Eric. And then in the front is my mother Jolene, my grandmother Rodney.
Excellent. Welcome. All right, Mayor Ralph, will you please do the honors?
If you could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Keith Jeffries,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the United States of America,
to the United States of America,
the state of Washington,
the state of Washington,
and the city of Kent.
and the city of Kent.
That I will uphold the Constitution and laws
That I will uphold the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of Washington,
and the state of Washington,
and that I will obey the rules and regulations
and that I will obey the rules and regulations
of the Kent Police Department.
of the Kent Police Department.
Great. Congratulations. Yeah, that's the final test. Free to come up and take a picture. This only happens one time, so don't be shy.
All right, Keith, congrats. All right, congratulations, right.
Chief, I just have to say, I am loving the theme we have now heard from multiple employees, that this is the community that has raised them and the community that they want to support, and I just really think it's important to call that out, so.
Very good.
Oh, and we're not going to talk about that part.
All right, thank you. So, as I typically do in December, I wanted to go through our end-of-the-year crime stats. It's good news. I do want to note that these numbers are as of the end of November. And so while I'd like to imagine a day where there'd be no crime in December, there will be some minor changes to this final report. But this is a good comparison year over year, November to November, of where we are. And so you can see there, looking at the major crime categories that we typically report out on, this isn't all of the crimes, definitely most of the serious crimes and the ones that are pretty prevalent. It's a substantial decrease across the board. Our robberies, which you know, is anytime someone uses force or a weapon to take something away from another is a robbery. Those are down 39%. Vehicle prowls, for those not familiar with that term, a vehicle prowl is when your car is broken into and something is stolen, but they don't actually take the car. That's a vehicle prowl. Down from 800 plus, down to 521, 38% decrease. Vehicle thefts, a big deal. Haven't heard from the Kia boys anytime recently, and that's a good thing. But we started out at 1,256 in 24, cut more than half down to 516, 59% decrease. RESBURG stands for residential burglaries. These are when people break into homes, private residences. Those are down, as you can see, 38. And commercial burglaries are the businesses that get broken into. A significant drop there, 60%. I'll explain aggravated assaults. These are assaults where either significant injury has occurred, short of death, and or they are armed with a dangerous weapon or deadly weapon when they commit the assault, and that is down 37% across the city. Shooting, self-explanatory, down 50%, very grateful for that, and homicides are down 28% from last year. We just recently had, as many of you may recall, a double homicide that pushed our numbers up here a little bit. So those are great. Looking at a bigger trend, we've been tracking, this is pretty incredible as well. So we have sustained this now for 2 years. If you can see, those decreases are even more significant than the year over year. And while we look at these and go, okay, well, if in 2022 we were at record highs, is this really a significant change? And I'm here to tell you that these numbers are down to the 2019 levels, well before the pandemic, and well before a lot of police reform issues and societal unrest were occurring those past years. So these are real numbers, is what I'm here to tell you. So what's driving crime? Well, this looks very similar to the report I did last year. In no particular order of priority, although there are some things that are at the top of my list, we've now had 2 years where we've restored the right or the authority by law enforcement officers to pursue suspects who leave in vehicles or flee in vehicles. Just as by way of reminder, in 2021, a law was passed that significantly restricted the ability to pursue suspects fleeing in cars. And we saw an immediate rise in crime. It was off the charts. In 2024, the Washington voters took action through Initiative I-2113 and restored the authority to police to conduct vehicle pursuits. And the legislature approved it that same year in 2024. And since that time, we've seen a reverse in the numbers going down steadily. So strong correlation to the laws that dictate how public safety is administered and the effectiveness of how we fight crime, so to speak. The other big indicator there, I can't say this enough, this is the top of my list, is that we have stabilized our staffing in Kent. We're now running a 2-year trend where we've been nearly fully staffed or almost fully staffed with a couple openings in our police officer allotted positions. And I say allotted positions because I don't want to get people confused thinking that we're fully staffed so we don't need any more. For the positions we have, and we need much more, we are maximizing what we get out of them in terms of effectiveness. We are really seeing that as my top priority when you ask me what's been the biggest change. Because we've been stabilizing our staffing, we've been able to fill our specialty units to go out and focus on crime problems. Many of you may have seen in our social media post, an example of that is our neighborhood response team dealt with illegal fencing of alcohol and catfish out of a business, as kind of bizarre as that sounds. That business, because it was asking for people to go out and steal items, was generating quite a bit of crime in that area. up in the area of 104th and 240th. And our neighborhood response team investigated that, worked on that, and helped solve that problem. So NRT, our community education unit doing outreach, our detectives, our traffic unit, our special operation unit, which is our bike unit that does a lot of our homeless engagement. All of those units are almost up to fully staffing now because we have our positions filled, and they're out doing more than just answering 911 calls. We are proactively getting after problems and preventing them. Another major focus has been data-driven patrols and enforcement. We are really using the data to put our resources in the right places. One of the new specialty units that we've deployed in these hotspot areas is our crime reduction unit. And their sole purpose is to go out, identify the crime issues that are going on, and implement operations to help impact those crime issues and get them under control or get them stopped completely. So big deal is our focus. Use of technology, this is number 2 on my list. We have to leverage technology to do the job. When you are under-resourced and you don't have enough personnel, one of the major things that contributes to effectiveness is the use of technology, and we benefit greatly from that. Thank you, City Council and Mayor, for your support there, along with the positions we have. 2 of the things I'll call out is our flock safety camera system. I talked about that last report, so I won't go into detail, but that's been huge, huge in turning around crime, preventing crime. And I also want to point out that we have the NIBIN system. It's the National Ballistic Information Network, where we're able to use technology to trace guns to shooters and stop serial shooters and a lot of the regional shootings that have been occurring in the area through that technology. So that is a huge reason. And then last, but certainly not least, and I changed my mind now, that's now the top priority. Top reason for why we've turned around is we have exceptional people. You just saw us swear in 2 new officers, and the bar for them is extremely high. When you sign on to be a Kent police officer, that is a tall ask. If you can work in Kent, I like to say you can work anywhere. If you want to make a difference, Kent's the place to be. And so we hire really exceptional people, we train them well, and we hold them to very high standards, and they deliver for our communities. And so those would be the reasons that I would point to as to why we continue to see this trend. I think it's really important to be careful, and I want to be clear. We are not declaring victory. We are not done. The safety of our city continues to be a top priority. We have lots of work to do, but I'm here to report that we are making a good turnaround. The trend is in the right direction, and we're not going to stop working hard for you. Mayor, I'll pause there for questions if there are any.
Any questions, Council? Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Chief, for this presentation. It's good to see the numbers and data, but I just have a quick question. I'm not taking thunder away. I mean, it's great that we're making so much progress, but are neighboring cities or the region also seeing similar trends?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're seeing success across the region, but I would point out we were called out in an article, I forget which news agency, I want to say it was Seattle Times, but don't quote me on that. We were called out. We had the biggest drop in crime of any city in King County, which means in any city in Washington. So it is true that we are seeing crime reduce across the region, and what I would point to is that some of those factors that we've benefited from, like the change in laws and agencies starting to fill their positions or vacancies collectively, and because the technology we leverage is shared regionally, we're able to share and collaborate on how we solve these crimes. You're seeing a result that transcends most of the area. That said, our numbers are really, really good.
Don't jinx it. Thank you.
Really good.
All right, I don't see any other questions, Chief.
Okay, thank you. Now for my annual Beware. We are conducting our holiday DUI patrols like we do every year. We will be launching our Night of 1,000 Stars kickoff December 19th. The Night of 1,000 Stars, the 1,000 stars is symbolic of the 1,000 officers that we will deploy across the state that will be out doing DUI enforcement patrols. Our hope is that we will get people to plan ahead, be responsible in how they celebrate, and make sure they have sober rides to and from their locations, and we don't have to make any DUI arrests. That would be our hope. But in the event that that's not the case, our officers will be out there making sure we can make the streets as safe as we can, making sure that we prevent tragedies by getting drunk drivers and, I should say, high drivers off the roads. This effort's a pretty monumental one. It's led by our community education unit, Sarah Halstead, who is the South King County coordinator for the state's Target Zero campaign. And the image you see there is the image of what Washington State Patrol calls the MIDU. It's their mobile impaired driving unit. That RV is configured with breathalyzers, holding cell, and all the equipment needed to process someone through a DUI arrest. And that will be parked somewhere here close by so that officers have more efficient way to process drunk drivers. So there you have it. Again, we want everybody to avoid this altogether, but we also want the community to know we'll be out there. Last on my list for tonight, or this year I should say, is I want to recognize the great Game of Life conference that was held yesterday and again today. For those not familiar with the conference, it's an annual conference that is planned and implemented by the Kent Police Youth Leadership Board. It's a two-day conference, and it is a compilation of workshops and training and lectures addressing the current life issues that our youth are facing, things like mental health and wellness, things like relationship issues, substance use, and any other issues, social dynamic issues and things of that nature. They come together, they learn from experts, they network, and the expectation is this group of students then will go back into their schools and share what they've learned and help lead their peers. And the attendees are made up of Kent middle school and high school students. It's planned by the students, but it is also staffed by our community education unit. Big thank you and props to Stacy Judd, who I couldn't remember her name this morning for some reason, and also Sarah Halstead. It's also, a lot of the workshops are put on by our Kent officers. It's a great opportunity where they engage with our students in a situation that's not bad. It's a positive interaction. I think a little over 200 students this year for the conference, pretty amazing turnout. Those pictures there are Mayor Ralph and I doing the welcome and thank you to the students. I believe that was today, Mayor, this morning. So, and then one of the lecturers. So, great event, very proud that we were able to put this on and look forward to next year's event. So, that completes my report, Mayor, unless there are questions.
Great, thank you, Chief. Councilmember Michaud.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you for this presentation, Chief. I saw a question online regarding our DUI, our dedicated DUI officer, and they were questioning why we need someone dedicated solely to DUI patrols. Can you briefly explain that?
That's a great question. First off, I want to remind the community and everyone that we were granted the funding to be able to put this position on. And so while I will speak to why it's important to have this patrol, the good news is for the city and the residents, this resource is being paid for through a grant. And well, like the mayor likes to say, we always like to use somebody else's money to service our community, and that's what we're doing. So that came through the Washington Traffic Safety Commission. But specific, DUI enforcement is something that we don't resource enough as much as I'd like to see. It is a high priority in that when you think about the causes of particularly adults in our country, right at the top historically, the top cause of death is collisions, and generally collisions related to speed and impairment. As we've seen in the state the last 2 years, we set record highs for fatal collisions in our streets. And a major contributing factor to that is, my opinion, is that we didn't have enough visible presence and a deterrent to get people to slow down and to drive sober. So we've got this resource. Our officers also do and support this grant. We have to match hours with our own staff. You've heard me talk about and explain that we don't have enough resources, but on our list of things we would add personnel to if we had the resources. The 35 officers would be more dedicated DUI patrols. Traffic enforcement, if I wanted to focus on an area that was going to reduce injury and death, traffic enforcement and traffic laws would be right at the top of my list.
Okay. Councilmember Fincher.
I'd also like to add just one thing to that, Chief. On a DUI call, it also can save time, get the officers back on the road, because you don't have to wait for instance, if you're going to have State Patrol come to issue the test. We have somebody right here who is dedicated and has all the knowledge that's necessary to do that, so it frees up the officers that we do have who are in limited supply.
That's a good point.
All right. Any other questions for the chief? All right. Thank you.
Just want to end, wish everybody a happy holiday season, safe, happy holiday season, and happy new year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are going to move on to reports. One of the things that I am very grateful for with this, our entire city council, is they are actively engaged outside of just the council meetings that happen twice a month, making sure that the voice of Kent is being represented at regional and statewide conversations, both in grant conversations as well as policy conversations. It's something that doesn't happen in every city. So again, I'm really, really grateful for the commitment of our city council members. I am going to go ahead and start with a few reports, and then I will turn it over for the rest of the council. Couple of things in the last week. Over the weekend, we were able to celebrate the opening of the Federal Way Link Extension, aka 2 stations in Kent for light rail. So while it's named Federal Way Link Extension because that is the last station, the 2 newest stations, the first ones are at Kent Des Moines Road and and Star Lake, the former Star Lake Park and Ride. Council all had an opportunity both last Wednesday and again on Saturday to take the light rail and really celebrate that work. What I do want to point out is that this is something, light rail is something that the city of Kent has been planning for a couple of decades, working on zoning and changes and developing a plan. So when Sound Transit brought the resources through their voter approved revenues, when they brought that to Kent, we already had in line what was going to be important for our community and how those projects developed. That is not something that occurs where every station is, and I really want to highlight that. It's very important that we also give a big round of applause to Kelly Peterson. He is the person that led the team here at the City of Kent. So Kelly was not the only one, but he really put together an incredible team that worked through thousands and thousands of pages of documents and specifications, making sure that our community got all the things that it needed and deserved as these stations came online. So I want to say thank you to Kelly for everything he has done to guide us through this process. It's going to be a while before everything is closed out and those lists are all taken care of. But right now you can get on light rail and make it to downtown Seattle in about 48 minutes. Places to park up there, get on. You can go all the way to Linwood and also all the way down to Federal Way. So really excited that happened this last week. A couple of other highlights from the last week. I sit on the Economic Development District Board at Puget Sound Regional Council, and we're in the process of developing the economic development plan for our region in the coming years. There is a lot of conversation. I think people are starting to feel it. We know that we're in a recession, headed into more. I mean, that's a reality of where things are at. So economic development is more important than ever, making sure that we have a plan to keep business here, keep jobs available to our residents, and that's some of the work of that EDD board. In line with that, today I was asked to sit on a panel through the Washington Observer Press called the Rewire Conference, and I was on a panel with the Director of Commerce, Joe Wynn, the Chair of House Finance, April Berg, and Rachel Smith from Washington Roundtable, and the topic was the state of the economy. had the opportunity to highlight some of the challenges and successes that we have here in the city of Kent. Front and center in that conversation was streamlined sales tax, something that this council has worked on repeatedly. Again, highlighting that the decisions that the state makes have actual and real impacts in communities like Kent, and those decisions are long-term. Also highlighting the work that we're doing around supporting our space sector and advanced manufacturing and the things that we are doing to help build that economy. It was a fantastic opportunity to, again, highlight some of the challenges, but also the successes that we're having here in the city of Kent. Finally, to wrap it up in that same theme, Thursday of last week, spent the entire day in Olympia meeting with our legislative delegation. We've got a couple more members to meet with in the coming week, but really, Council, carrying your message of the legislative priorities that you passed in October, making sure that our delegation is aware of the things that are important to Kent, the things that we are supportive, and the things that we will be speaking up against that will be harmful, legislation that will be harmful to the city. So getting ready for January. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Pat Fitzpatrick, our Chief Administrative Officer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to defer to my report for most things, but I do want to say to Councilmember Fincher, thank you. On behalf of staff, thank you so much for all of your service, and it's been great working with you. You always challenged us, but you always supported us, and we always appreciated that. I'll miss your phone calls, miss you being a neighbor on the dais, and I just want to note that you had many opportunities to push me off the edge here, and you never did, so I really appreciate that. So I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Council President.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Pat, today, meeting's not over yet, to push you. I serve on King County Domestic Violence Initiative Regional Task Force. We actually had our meeting this morning, and we had Gina Finley with Dawn giving a presentation. So it was great to see all the work that we have done here in Kent, including the walk that happened and proclamation and Purple Nights Night that we had here in Kent. So it was great to see that with the regional leaders. I'll have more of that in my report, in council report tomorrow. And I get to serve in 2026, I serve on Board of Health with King County and get to continue serving with Puget Sound Regional Council on Growth Management Policy Board and continue to serve as the chair for Puget Sound Clean Air Agency Advisory Council. And I do want to echo that we Sound Transit Federal Way Link Extension, got to write that on last Wednesday and then had the opening on Saturday. And I want to give a shout out to Kelly Peterson and our staff who have worked so hard on this project. And I was a little bummed to not see Kent as front and center, but for all the work that we have put in and for the number of parking spaces we have advocated for. But really excited for our community to have this opportunity to be able to take this transportation from Federal Way all the way to Linwood. So congratulations to our staff members. With that, I am going to go ahead and get started with Councilmember Troutner.
Thank you, Madam President. I am chair of the Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority Governance Board. We have our last meeting of the year on Wednesday, December 17th. I also sit on the Regional Transit Committee, and we will not meet again until next year. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Michaud.
Thank you, Madam President. I serve as the Park Subject Matter Chair, and earlier today during our Committee of the Whole meeting, we accepted $4.6 million in grants for our future Uplands Playfield and Spray Park redevelopment. So super exciting, happy to get funds from somewhere else to do that project. I also serve as the Human Services Commission Council Liaison, and at our past meeting, we're now doing a monthly agency spotlight. And so this month we heard from ANU, Multi-Services Center, Afghan Advantage, Dawn, and the Ukrainian Community Center. So that's always super informative. There's also more information about what happened during the Human Services Commission meeting in our council newsletter that comes out tomorrow. I also serve on the Regional Law, Safety, and Justice Committee, and our meeting is on Thursday morning, and we're going to hear from the Criminal Justice Training Academy Program Manager for House Bill 2015. So that should be informative, hopefully. So more to come on that.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Larmer.
Thank you, Council President. So I'm the subject matter chair for Economic and Community Development. And during our COW meeting earlier today, we had a presentation and we passed a motion to change the small-scale infill development infrastructure exemptions. And really, that's a really long way of saying that we're removing some of the development barriers to achieve the middle housing goals that we have for the coming years. So that was Economic and Community Development. I also serve on the King County Aging and Disabilities Advisory Council, and we're having our final meeting on Friday. Final meeting of the year and final meeting of my my tenure on that committee. Also, I wanted to just echo, how fun it was to be at the event on Saturday for Sound Transit. And what I haven't shared with you guys is I ran into Kelly on my way to the parking lot, and we had a really great conversation. And I kept trying to congratulate him, but he wouldn't take the congratulations. He just kept giving all the credit to his team. And so, Kelly, I want to say congratulations, and you cannot have an orchestra without a conductor, and he's been an amazing conductor of this effort. So it's been really great to see it I remember those early conversations where 2025 felt so far away, like it was never coming, and we got there. So congratulations to Kelly and his team.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Boyd.
Yes, I'd also like to add to the Federal Link extension. And not only did we have an enjoyable time on Saturday, but we also had an enjoyable time Wednesday down to Des Moines Ride. I sit on the Puget Sound Fire, and we didn't have any meetings this past couple of weeks, but we will next week, right? And also, local land waste and hazmat, we haven't had any meetings all month long neither. I'll have a meeting this coming weekend. This coming week also. It'll be the first meeting for this month. Also, I applied for some other positions. Positions and commissions, and hopefully, I already got the nomination. Hopefully, I'll get picked. And who knows, in January 2026, I'll have a lot more to offer because I'll be on 3 different commissions and a governor's board. And thank you. That's all I had to offer.
Thank you. Councilmember Fincher.
Thank you very much. Most of all of my information will be in my report, but I did want to highlight the Domestic Violence Moral Recognition Therapy. Terrence Lane, one of our probation officers, is the one who oversees that program over at the courts. It's for domestic violence abusers, and what it does, it teaches them to recognize their triggers. They also encourage that, aside from that they seek some sort of mental health counseling. But one of the things that stood out for me is that 90% of the people who start that course do not come back through for domestic violence. Even if they came back for something else, they did not come back through for domestic violence, which I thought was very important, because remember, it's not only the person who is impacted, the victim who is impacted, or the survivor. It's all of the people around them, all of the children who are witnessing this. It's the family members who are impacted, the friends. So it's a wide circle. And so this program is really something I encourage my council members. You can go sit in and observe the sessions over there. And it was really interesting both to listen to the interaction. They do it, Terrence says it a bit differently than it is in most municipalities. And so I can see how it is much more, much further reaching and much more impactful the way that they do it here. So, and I believe that was one of those things between him and Judge Franz that got that rolling. So very, very impressive. So, and everything else will be in my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Fincher. And I did forget to mention that we had a council workshop. We had great presentations from Kent YMCA and another very educational presentation on our permitting process. I would encourage our community to watch those. And with that, back to you, Madam Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Moving on our agenda, item number 6 is public hearing. We do not have one this evening. Item number 7 is public comment. Public comment period is your opportunity to speak to council and the mayor on issues that relate to the business of the City of Kent or agenda items the council will consider. This is not an open public forum, and comments that do not relate to the business of the city are not permitted. Additionally, the state of Washington strictly prohibits people from using this public comment opportunity for political campaign purposes, including to support or oppose a ballot measure or any candidate for public office. Speakers may not give political campaign speeches and must instead speak concerning the matters of the City Council's agenda or matters concerning the general business for the city. Further, in providing public comment, speakers must address the council and mayor as a whole. Remarks intended to target an individual on the dais are not permitted. Finally, please note that this public comment opportunity is for you to provide information to the mayor and city council that you would like us to consider, but we will not be able to answer questions during the meeting itself. Could you please call our speakers?
And we did want to note that there was a public comment received via email. It's been distributed to council and to the mayor, and it will be included in the meeting minutes.
Thank you.
And our first speaker is Brandon Eastman.
Good evening. I meant to print some stuff, have it printed out so I could read it. I'm going to have to fumble through on my phone because of the weather preparations we had going on this afternoon and evening. But hello, my name is Brandon Eastman. I work for Public Works Operations and serve as Teamsters Shop Steward. The Teamsters Local 117, representing Public Works and Parks Operations, is currently engaged in our contract negotiation with the City of Kent. As those who serve the City of Kent every day, we see the City of Kent's continual support for its employees. We have one topic that is being discussed that stands out as particularly important to our membership and will benefit the City of Kent as well. We have received approval to be eligible for retirees' health benefits through the Teamsters. This benefit is somewhat unique in that while it is an amazing benefit for our members, it will also benefit the City of Kent financially. Negotiations can often be viewed as adversarial, but both sides of the table should view this one as a win. Either from exposures to hazards or from the manual labor, our line of work can be particularly hard on the body, and we have all seen and felt these effects over a career. At the end of their careers, employees can rely on Teamsters health insurance for these ailments instead of drawing on the city's health care funds. Grandfathered employees in the city's costly discontinued health plan will shift to the Teamsters plan at an earlier retirement date, relieving the city of those ongoing contributions. As the more senior workers retire earlier from the city will no longer have to pay for the higher levels of longevity pay, vacation accruals, and sick leave use. While the employees nearest the end of their career provide valuable service to the city, it comes at a higher price. These retirees' health care benefits will provide the type of retirement they deserve and be a cost-saving measure for the City of Kent. Our membership is concerned about the expense of these benefits. The monthly contribution is regressive for our younger workers. As many of our newer, younger employees are in the lower compensation tiers, they will be most heavily impacted by this cost. As this younger generation attempts to navigate through the same affordability crisis that I'm sure your constituents speak to you about, bearing the cost for this benefit will make a difficult time more difficult for them. This benefit serves as a hedge against an uncertain future, especially decades down the road, where things like Social Security and Medicare are at risk. However, the monthly contributions could even further delay important, more immediate milestones, such as having their own home or starting a family. Due to the cost reductions, the City of Kent is in a great position to offer this bargaining unit an amazing benefit while honoring its fiscal responsibility to its citizens. We're asking you, City Council members and Mayor Ralph, to please support and advocate for the city to reinvest a portion of the savings from this benefit with the workers that will serve this city for decades. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you.
Ty Collins.
And I didn't say it, so we state your name and city of residence for the record, and then the 3-minute timer is up there on the screen.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Ty Collins. I work in Public Works Operations. I am a lifelong Kent resident speaking today about the retirement benefits and how essential it would be for me and my fellow young workers and I to have access to such an indispensable opportunity that will not only be an investment later in life, but also gives us opportunities in the present. As a young blue-collar worker entering today's workforce presents challenges unlike anything previous generations have dealt with. I feel the weight of these challenges every day, as do many of my peers. From the housing market boom that has pushed affordability out of reach to relentless inflation, it often feels as if we do not get a break. This affordability crisis has greatly affected the youth of today, and that's why these retirement benefits being paid for are so important. It will present a great opportunity to build stability, investing not only for the future, but the present as well. These benefits allow the senior workforce to retire earlier, accelerating the chance at promotions for younger workers. However, having to pay for these benefits would present another obstacle, as many of us struggle each month to pay our bills and strive to reach the living standards of our parents. Having these benefits paid for would be a meaningful privilege, one that could serve as a crucial building block to help us achieve the quality of life we all desire. At a time so many economic pressures are rising, support like this allows us to breathe easier today. We all noticed how overwhelming medical costs are for current retirees, with many on the verge of retirement delaying it because they are petrified about the medical costs without adequate benefits. With that being today's reality and prices surging over the past 5 years, I can only imagine in 30 years what my generation will be faced with upon retirement. These benefits ease that fear and give us confidence we can retire with integrity. I've witnessed firsthand how life-changing these benefits can be. My stepdad, a retired firefighter, is a prime example of how life-changing these benefits are. Because of retirement benefits such as the ones being offered, he was able to retire at 57. He now saves thousands of dollars each year on medical expenses, surgeries, and the medications required to live a full, healthy life. He is proof that these benefits are essential to give people the chance to enjoy the life they have spent decades working hard to earn. Council members, please fund retiree health insurance to demonstrate that this city is invested in a secure and affordable future for its young workforce. Thank you for your time and allowing me to talk about these benefits.
Thank you.
Perry Soblick.
Perry Soblick, resident of Kent. Brenda, I'm so sorry to see you leaving. In all my years of interacting with members of the council, et cetera, I would say that you and Dennis Higgins are the best listeners of anybody that's ever been here, and good luck with what you do. Okay. Kudos to the council for taking steps to make our city streets safer by lowering speed limits in certain areas of concern. According to the Kent Reporter, a new DUI officer has been writing speeding and other infraction tickets on East Hill. Also good news. However, this new emphasis on speed limits will only prove effective if it's backed by active enforcement. When I moved to Kent almost 30 years ago, my neighborhood, just 3 blocks from this room, was patrolled with a speed trap at least once a month. It was very effective. Our speed limit is still 25 miles per hour, yet electronic radar speed indicators recorded a vehicle several years ago going 85.5 miles per hour on a residential street. Any of you ever had that experience in your neighborhood? I certainly hope not. I'm certain police records would show that no speeding tickets have been written on 3rd Avenue South in at least 10 years. We have close to 20 school-aged children on our street. There used to be 12 officers dedicated to traffic enforcement. Today, I believe there are only 4. 5 if you count Officer Castro, the DUI guy. Without active enforcement in all residential neighborhoods, the Band-Aid approach will fail. Not just speeding, but all forms of traffic infractions. My street has signs warning against commercial truck traffic. Last week, I witnessed a vehicle transporting a piece of heavy equipment so huge it required pilot cars with flashing caution lights in front and behind. Okay, I've lobbied to eliminate heavy truck traffic on the residential part of my street for 16 years, and I'm still waiting for the council to pass an ordinance prohibiting heavy trucks on residential streets. At this time, no such law exists. Kent needs more dedicated traffic officers to guarantee public safety in every neighborhood, and not just a select few. A report several years ago revealed that we had 4 intersection red light cameras had garnered nearly $4 million worth of fines. We now have at least 8 of these devices. Let's use these public safety funds for public safety on all our streets. My street is finally scheduled for traffic calming measures sometime in maybe the next 2 years. By the way, 1,100 cars a day go past my house. I sure hope the traffic calming installations come soon. If you think just lowering the speed limit on a sign is going to make speeders actually slow down without enforcement, I've got some waterfront property in Oklahoma, I'll sell you. It needs the enforcement. So, thank you.
Gwen Allen Karsten.
Good evening, everyone. I am Gwen Allen Karsten, a resident of Kent for 20 plus years, 24914 109th Place Southeast in Kent, Washington. And that brings me such joy when I say that, pertaining to where I come from, way down in Florida, and my experience of life started in Seattle. But my experience in community service and being a part of what's happening in the place where I pay taxes and live, and I'm thankful that Kent has allowed me to be engaged, to be of service, and to look out for other folks besides myself. So, Brenda, thank you for being such an inspiration to me. You have shown me that it doesn't take a lot of hoopla. It doesn't take a lot of degrees. It doesn't take a lot of, I've been here and I've been there. It takes a lot of caring. It takes a lot of courage. And it takes a lot of effort to do service to all of those here that you have had the pleasure of doing. You inspire me to keep going, to keep doing things that matter for other folks. And that is one of the reasons I'm standing here tonight. I have had the honor of working with our legislators and our Senate members on a project that I think would benefit the city of Kent and maybe motivate other cities to do something like this as well. I'm talking about the project to do a renaming of a portion of Benson Highway to rename it in a memorial signing to Martin Luther King Way. We have worked on this for a little over a year. We have gone through all of the channels of trying to get the Senate to accept it. It was too late. We had to just leave it alone. But Representative Mia Gregerson came along and she said, let's try and get this through the House of Representatives. And she has been a thriving force to help us do this. So we're at the point of having testimonies tomorrow via Zoom call, and I've heard from a lot of folks who have signed up to speak towards that. But I want to say that this is an area that I never thought I would be able to accomplish anything when it came to government or leadership in this particular realm. But I am happy and delighted to know that I had an idea one day sitting at a stoplight, and here we are now getting ready to do the resolution for that action. And if I may just read this, this is what will be read.
When we've got 2 seconds left.
Okay, well, anyway, this is going to happen tomorrow, and I will give you a report on it. But just for specifics, from the north side of Petrovisky and Benson down to Kent Kangley is going to be the route. So stay tuned, and thank you so much. Brenda, I wish you well.
Ty Whitfield.
Good evening, Mayor and our City Council.
I first want to take the time to let Brenda know from over 1,000 residents. I'm Ty Whitfield, community advocate, living in the city of Kent, acting like everybody should know that. Thousands of residents to let you know we are going to miss you. You are tremendously a heart. It takes all of the city council to do what we do, but everybody has their own position. And Brenda's position has been the voice and the advocacy for our homeless community. And so it's going to be, we're going to miss you, and it's going to be a lot when you're gone. But that's why it's important for our community to support our community, our city council, to be able to help them understand the need of our city and our homelessness and the seniors and the youth that we need. I wanted to just kind of get some updates. When the food benefits had left, the food stamps left, we were able to about 15 nonprofits and churches, we all came together. We rented out the senior center and we fed over 600 families. We let them go grocery shopping. They had so much food that we just let them open up their cars and it was packed with food. So us as a community came together to make sure that happened. We do want to let all the families know that our community nonprofits will have a toy drive at Gym Mentor Group. This is for our families in the city of Kent. You don't have to go to other cities trying to find where you can get toys for your kids. I'm going to send the flyer to the mayor and the city council, but it will be for our families in the city of Kent, for our parents that needs toys for your children. Bring them. It was going to be on December the 21st at Gym Mentor Group down, and we'll make sure we'll have a flyer out for our city council. One thing to let you know that it takes more than just a city council to do what we do. It takes a community. We are wrapped up, we're so diverse. We have churches, we have nonprofits, we have organizations. When our government shuts down, our community steps up. And so we're not doing this by ourselves. We're doing this together as a unit. I've always had my hands into something. My next partnership is making sure our seniors are taken care of. There's going to be some programs that our seniors are going to not going to have funding and food, and I'm already in the process of taking care of that, getting that properly started for our seniors in the city of Kent. But this is what it's about. So please don't stop. Even though Brenda's not here, we got new representatives that's coming. We need the community to let them know what we do for the city of Kent. We come together. When one is weak, we're all strong. Thank you.
TJ Peterson.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, for the opportunity to speak to my neighbors, and God bless all my neighbors that came out tonight. Brenda, I'm going to miss you. I want to talk about homelessness. My great friend Ty touched on this. Seniors are getting priced out of their homes on a pretty regular basis. The greatest increase in people on the streets is seniors nowadays. So it's a new book. It's on my reading list. It's called Placeless: Homelessness in the New Gilded Age by Patrick Markey. Did a little podcast on NPR Fresh Air. Talks about everything from back in the 1870s, and I'm going to even reach a little locally, how we chased our Salish Sea people out of the communities when they were marginalized and all this. It's kind of a policy thing, in my opinion. I want to talk about the people who have died. December 21st, the longest day of the year, the longest night of the year, darkest day. We probably had 30, maybe 35 people die outside, homeless in Kent in the last year. Down a little bit, it's going back up again. Maybe we can talk about the discussion at the retreat on how this is happening. Maybe ask some people about numbers. You can go to the medical examiner's website. There's a tracker, and you can sort on the medical examiners who, when, where, housing situation. So the numbers are there. The data is there. Let's talk about how people end up on the streets. Seniors getting priced out. The Kent County Bar Association has an eviction tracker, a dashboard. Kent County Bar Association that tracks all the evictions. Kent is kind of holding their own on that. I don't want to say we're number one, but It's not a good number. We have the least amount of tenant protections in the county. This is a policy decision. A lot of this is seniors that are getting priced out because they didn't have the good pensions that we should be giving to our workers that work hard and productive. There's another eviction tracking system at the evictionlab.org. You can track evictions there. So I want to go back. Maybe, we can talk about the history of how we treat the homeless, the policies that we enact. Is this a policy issue, or it's a lot easier sometimes for some people to blame the people that are out there as a personal failure? Because that kind of relieves a little bit of burden sometimes. We don't talk about the commercial landlords. So December 21st, maybe we can think about our neighbors who couldn't quite make it, who are living outside. Within a couple of blocks, you'll find people in doorways, vacant businesses. I hope we really discuss this and really move forward. The numbers are just not matching the policies. Thank you very much for your time. Merry Christmas. And let's pray for the least amongst us, please.
Thank you.
That was everyone.
All right. So that brings us to the end of public comment. I want to say thank you to everyone that took the time to come out and address the council this evening. We will move on to the consent calendar. This is a compilation of items that the council has worked on at Committee of the Whole, had presentations on at workshop, and had the opportunity to ask questions and have discussion. These items have moved out of the Committee of the Whole without controversy. This evening we have items A through S.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We do not have any other business or bids this evening. We also do not have an executive session, so that brings us to the bottom of the agenda. I want to say thank you to all of our young audience members in the back for hanging in there with us this evening. It's much appreciated. And with that, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a happy and prosperous 2026. We are adjourned.